So I just got some new Dream Blue Velvet shrimp in the mail because the last shipment I got was rather low quality, so I decided to go with a different breeder for this stock. When I get shrimp in the mail, I do have an acclimation process that takes a while because shrimp are sensitive, and when you change the parameters of the water that they're going in, they need time to adjust. So, in order to do that, we do something called drip acclimation. Now, I'm using a little system here called the FA18X drip acclimator. That's just the name of the model of this whole thing right here. I like it a lot because it simplifies the process in terms of being compact. There's other ways you can do it. You can do it with a simple airline hose and a restrictor valve. But with this system, it's just easy because first off, we take the bag, and the bag is held in place with this green piece of plastic here, and then we got a hole. And you can see little drips of water from this little reservoir that we have created up here that connects to the blue piece of plastic. And the reason it's going so slow is because, again, it is a drip acclimation. It's only a drip every few seconds. And we basically let this drip, this entire thing right here, until it's completely gone. And I do this process for about 48 hours. And that might seem like a long time to some people, but when it comes to shrimp, they really do need the slow acclimation process. So, one thing I've learned by doing this is these bags won't have enough oxygen sometimes if they've been in transit. This bag has been in transit for, I believe, 4 days now, so I've gotten to the habit of hooking up an airline hose with a air stone, so that way we can aerate the water that these shrimp are in, so that way we can be sure that they do indeed have oxygen. Now, I don't put any food in here, and that's okay, because once they're released into the tank, they'll be eating plenty of stuff. Now, after the 48 hours is done, I will take the bag and I will not dump them in the water. Not like that, because if you dump the water in the bag, the water that they came in, into your tank, and let's say something was iffy with the water that they came from, then you're just going to transfer whatever possible diseases there could have been from the tank that they came from. So what you do is you dump them over a net, so that way the net catches them and the water goes into something like a bucket, and then you transfer them into the tank. That way you avoid having to mix water from the previous tank that they were in, reducing any cross-contamination. So this process has worked really, really well for me with my other shrimps. So I've done this process with my Bloody Marys, I've done it with my Neon Yellows, my Pumpkin Orange. Every time I've done it like this, I've had a much higher success rate in the survival of new stock compared to a 2 or 3 hour drip acclimation, which is what I used to do, but quite frankly, it just wasn't good enough. So now I just make sure I do it for 48 hours. And so long as I do that, normally it's gentle enough for them to handle it. So one other thing that I do, and it helps me gauge just how long I really need to do this, is I take a syringe of water, I take 5 milliliters, put it in the API Master Test Kit's pH tester, and I look at the pH, and my water is around 8.4, and this water is around 8.2, which is not bad. That's good for me, because the less they have to adjust for a pH swing, the better. So if they're coming from a high pH water and going into my tanks, which are high pH, that's less stress that they have to go through. So, there's a few things to to consideration when you're acclimating shrimp, and that's just the way I do it. And yeah, I've had good success with it. So I just thought it'd be an interesting little tidbit to talk about. You know, the new shrimps are always fun and all that. You know, but they're sensitive at first. So all right, guys, thanks for watching.